FBI is now on scene. Looks like the evidence response team will take over, I imagine.
All right, folks. So this is, we've had a shooter barge into the White House Correspondents' dinner, took a shot at a Secret Service agent. Secret Service returned fire and killed the shooter. This happened just a little while ago. We've got live feeds coming in from the White House. We also have the video of the event, and we'll show that to you here right now. All right, Trump has been evacuated from the area. He's supposed to be returning here momentarily. Again, shots have been fired inside the White House. This is the first time in history that someone inside the White House has actually opened fire inside the White House. This is also, as far as I know, the first time someone has ever been killed inside the White House. This happened... This has happened just a little while ago. Yeah, I'd love to know how they got in also. And actually, Trump is coming back to the Correspondents' dinner. Yes, those were shots, multiple shots fired. Anyway, I got this just a little bit ago from Durmac, so I need to give him a shout out. He called me on the phone and said, hey, there was just shots fired there. I'm on the network with all of the reporters in Washington, D.C. And so because of that, I can...
All right, just an update from Largo. Me and Derek are here.
Hey, people are... So I'm at Stadium Armory and I'm trying to figure what is going on.
Yeah, there's some reports coming out now that Trump's coming back. He wants to come back to the dinner and continue.
That's correct. That's correct. I'm looking at it right now on the Bluetooth. They waiting for him to come back out, and I guess he's going to make us.
Yeah, and I need to correct myself. This is at the hotel. It's not at the White House. It's at the hotel, not at the White House. But it is the White House Correspondents' dinner. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the person actually got in and to see who the individual was. So I want to correct myself there. It's the White House Correspondents' dinner at a hotel, and I don't even have that information, but I will get that to you here. So for those of you who didn't see it earlier, this is how it went down. All right, this is live from there.
We're going to call back again on your phone. With my battery's gone. Ready? No, here's the phone number. 202-748-8003.
And it happens in minus 40 minutes and 20 seconds. And you can really clearly hear the gunshots.
All right, yes, and it happened at the D.C. Hilton. All right, so thank you there, Cindy. Appreciate that. I think it's a shot and then 4 return shots. But this is live from the event here.
No. Talk about what you know at this point and what you've heard.
So what I know is that we were seated on the upper rim of the ballroom, and we heard a succession of pops, it sounded like, an apparent gun shooting. We saw folks get down to the ground, and after those shots rung out, I actually looked at the dais, and I saw President Trump, and he hadn't yet been evacuated. This, of course, just happened a couple of seconds after. It was really quick timing. Secret Service moved to remove him from the room, and then we saw them trying to basically climb over the tables. Right. And if folks can see the room, the tables are pretty close together. People were seated, some on the ground, but really questioning what was happening. It was a confusing time. I talked to some officials down in the bowl here, and they said they actually didn't hear pops. And so it was a lot of confusion. I talked to one administration official who said the first thing that they heard, they were seated closer to the stage, was the sound of running, not actually the pop. So everyone's kind of hearing something different inside of the room. But you saw the Secret Service agents climbing over the tables, trying to remove the cabinet officials. We saw Secretary of HHS, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. being removed. Marco Rubio, they were trying to find him in the ballroom being removed. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth being removed.
All these individual details.
All of these folks being removed. And I mean, just for folks to witness it, obviously we have these cameras running, but it both felt like it happened so quickly, and also it took a lot of time because of the formation of these tables.
Have you gotten any information more than we've heard from Wei Zhejiang about this continuing? What we know was the announcement saying this will continue in some way, and we have also heard that the president wants to come back.
Yeah, so we have heard that the president wants to come back. Our sourcing, some say that he is confirmed to come back, some say that he wants to come back. But obviously, I talked to one administration official still left in the room tonight who said that whether or not he does come back because of Secret Service, they believe that he wants to come back because this would now be his third assassination attempt. And this would be a moment for him to be president, show America that he is still here. Of course, the question of whether or not Secret Service wants him back in the room, whether or not it would be okay, whether or not they feel, we've heard that they believe that their threat is neutralized, but whether or not Secret Service feels confident enough to put him back in the room is one thing, but we have heard that he wants to be back.
Peter, I just heard you. You're heading out?
Lax, and I was expecting much more and a much deeper kind of check also of my devices. Normally when you go to these events, they, for example, check the phones, if these are really phones, so they check if you can, when you touch them, then they go on, or the same is true with computers. I didn't have any problems to bring in a battery. I didn't have any problems to bring in a light. They also didn't check the lights. There were no dogs sniffing me if I would have any explosives. So I was rather surprised how easy it was to get in there, but there were metal detectors, so I would have not been able to bring in a metal gun. So that's something I can say. But other than that, I really don't know at this moment, and I don't want to join any speculation at this point, Jared.
Absolutely, and it's best not to do that. Thank you for that, Ines. Now, just information coming in. According to Reuters, Trump says the shooter has been apprehended. Trump says, I have recommended that we let the show go on, but this will entirely be guided by law enforcement. And earlier we heard one of the officials from the White House Correspondents Association saying that they hoped this event will continue. Of course, that is entirely dependent on whether the law enforcement allows
Yeah, they're
that.
saying Trump's not coming back. Law enforcement will not allow that, so
All right,
that's going to be a wrap.
Trump's not coming back. Law enforcement just said that Trump is not coming back to the Correspondents' dinner. So it's a huge incident here. Trump has said that the shooter is down. From what I understand, the shooter is deceased. From what I've got so far is the shooter came in, took a shot at a Secret Service agent. That Secret Service agent returned, from what I can gather here from listening to the shots myself, looks like 5 shots were fired, 1 by the shooter, 4 by the Secret Service. The shooter is down, and at this point in time, from what I understand, the shooter is deceased. Additionally, Trump is not coming back. The podium's waiting for him, but the crowd hasn't even been notified yet. Now, pay attention right here, folks. We know that Trump's not coming back, and nobody in that dinner knows it yet. Again, we know it, but the people who are there don't even know it yet. That's the power of KLW World News and the connections that we have. Thank you guys in the NCR. Yeah. So, yet another reason why you should watch KLW World News, because you'll get real news in real time, and 99% of the time, it's before everybody else. So, yeah, people know that there was a shooting, but nobody knows. Nobody else is reporting that the shooter is dead, and nobody else is reporting that Trump is not coming back. Okay, so Derry says that the shooter was at the metal detector outside of the dining area. Wow, Cindy says she saw it live. Just surreal. I didn't know you were there, Cindy. So, again, Derry's now telling us that the shooter was at the metal detector. And the shooter came at the Secret Service. There were 5 shots fired. From what I understand, the shooter fired once, and the Secret Service fired 4 times, and the shooter is no longer with us. Yeah, the Secret Service is telling Trump that he cannot come back. Trump cannot come back to the event. Thanks, Cindy. Yeah, hit that thumbs up, folks. Share it out. live coverage of this event. Trump will not be returning to the event.
A DC ambulance just left the scene of the shooting at the White House Correspondents dinner. And they left with lights and sirens on, so I don't know if that's a shooting victim or someone else was injured some other way.
Okay, so an ambulance just left the White House Correspondents dinner with their lights and siren on, transporting someone to the hospital. So maybe the shooter is not dead, or...
Where are you? I'm on Connecticut. Where did you see an ambulance rolling out? And what number was it? We just saw ambulance 9 roll in.
Yeah, it went up Columbia Road Northwest, 2000 block, Columbia Road.
It must be going to Howard. Was it going east?
Yeah, so share this out everywhere, folks. Yeah, security may have gotten
We have
hit.
2 ambulances, EMS supervisor, and a medic unit out front. EMS battalion chief.
Trump can't override.
Yeah, I see them still there, but they went northbound. So, yeah, maybe it's a MedStar, I think.
Yes, that's Penguin. He's on the same network with me. Yeah, see, there's a small group of, not what I'm saying is not on multiple channels. What you just heard is not on any channel other than this one, Yvonne. There is a small group of reporters and government officials, Secret Service, Marshal Service. I don't think there's anybody from the FBI on, but there's people from the ATF and some other government agencies, as well as some reporters, including myself, and we're on this small private network that you have to be. Yeah, Trump is fine. On this small. Oh, wait a minute. What's this guy announcing? Oh no, never mind. It's a small group of people who are on this. You have to be invited in to be on it, and I've been on it for 7, 8 years, maybe 10 years. So that's how I'm able to hear what's going on there, and then I've got other people in addition that I can get stuff from. So yeah, nobody else thus far, as far as I know, has announced that Trump is not returning and that the shooter is deceased. So I'm not sure who was taken to the hospital. Yes, my network is vetted. I mean, Penguin's on it, okay? So, yeah, that's a possibility. Well, yeah, you could have a lot of things happen. You could have people slip, fall, twist their ankle, go into labor, whatever. No, you need to, Spider, you need to turn off the app, reload the app, and turn it back on, and you'll be fine. We updated the software. Oh, by the way, make sure everybody is at the class on Sunday. Tomorrow afternoon, at 3 Central Time, be on the class. We are synchronizing. I have devised a way that we can synchronize all of our radio stations worldwide forever without the internet or even electricity. Yes, Penguin. Andrew. So, yeah, hit the thumbs up, share this out, folks. We're going to continue to bring it to you here. There have been shots fired by supposedly the shooter as well as the Secret Service. Stand by. Bat phone. Okay. Had to provide a briefing. From what we understand right now, it is just one shooter, and that shooter, Trump said the shooter is down. From what I heard earlier, the shooter is no longer with us. We will continue to bring you the information as we get it. Trump is not coming back to the dinner. All of the senior officials who were there were all evacuated out of the dinner. From what we understand now, the reason that they haven't evacuated people out of this room is because the shooting took place at the metal detector stand outside. So at an entrance to the building is where the shooting took place, not inside of this room. It was towards the back of this room outside, because as the shots rang out, people ran towards the stage, including the Secret Service. So yeah, we're going to get a lot of information on this, and we're going to give it to you as quickly as we can as it comes in. Like I said, we've got a variety of different sources.
Copy that.
Possibly happened in the lobby there. FBI is now on scene. Looks like the evidence response team will take over, I imagine.
Okay, I'm just playing it back on YouTube. And it happens at minus 40 minutes and 20 seconds. And you can really clearly hear the gunshots.
Yeah, they're saying Trump's not coming back. Law enforcement will not allow that, so that's going to be a wrap. A DC ambulance just left the scene of a shooting at the White House Correspondents dinner, and they left with lights and sirens on, so I don't know if that's a shooting victim or someone else was injured some other way.
Where are you? I'm on Connecticut. Where did you see an ambulance rolling out? And what number was it? We just saw ambulance 9 roll in.
Yeah, it went up Columbia Road Northwest, 2000 block, Columbia Road.
Must be going to Howard. Was it going east? We have 2 ambulances, EMS supervisor and a medic unit out front. EMS battalion chief.
Yeah, I see them still there, but they went northbound. So yeah, maybe it's a MedStar, I think.
Okay, so I haven't seen the video of the person handcuffed. I'll have to look for that. As you can see, the president's not coming back because the president's plaque was just removed from the podium. So like I said, unlike what other channels are reporting, Trump is not coming back. Arnold, you would think by now that you would learn to listen to what I say as opposed to what other people were saying. But, well, I guess you're old and hard-headed. Either way, Trump is not coming back. We will have to look for the video of the individual in handcuffs.
In Hilton, I've been taken out of the main ballroom after the sound of the shots fired. The Secret Service is now in charge of this building, this hotel. I just spoke to Mayor Muriel Bowser. She is on her way, and Chief Jeffrey Carroll is on his way. He will be in charge as soon as he gets here.
Stay back! Stay back! Wait for the side. Stay down.
Ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech tonight will be classic Donald J. Trump. It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great. I'm looking
Ready to rumble, is he not?
He is ready to rumble. I will tell you, this speech.
All right, I'm continuing to go through all of the different stuff here. I'm trying to find a video of the suspect in custody. Oh, hold on here. We got an announcement coming.
This is a room full of reporters, so I know you've already seen the president's tweet. My apologies, his post on Truth Social. And law enforcement has requested that we leave the premises consistent with protocol. And he wanted to emphasize that nobody was hurt. He and the First Lady, the cabinet, everybody's safe. The president will be having a press briefing at the White House in 30 minutes. That is not a joke. And he insists that we will reschedule this event in the next 30 days. And that he wanted to do it tonight. He wanted to continue despite the news, but has to follow security protocol. I said earlier tonight that journalism is a public service because when there is an emergency, we run to the crisis, not away from it. And on a night when we are thinking about the freedoms in the First Amendment, we must also think about how fragile they are. I saw all of you reporting, and that's what we do. So, thank God everybody is safe, and thank you for coming together tonight. We will do this again. Thank you.
All right, so I am trying to find videos of the event here. I'm trying to find that shooter or the person who was in custody to see if I can get any of that for you guys. That's what I'm working on here in the background. Now, somebody asked, what is the network? Well, KLW World News has our own global network, and it comprises of multiple things. We have our own app, which is totally private, and we've got hundreds of channels on it. We can send messages. We can talk on it. We can send photographs. We can send video links. It's 100% secure. It's AES 256-bit encrypted. It's on our own private server. It works over any backbone. We're upgrading it now with a new mapping capability. We also have a safety net.
Trump's leaving the premise now. He's going to do a press conference in 30 minutes from the White House.
There we go. Trump's going to do a press conference in 30 minutes from the White House, and we're going to bring that to you as well. We don't know about the Secret Service agent. We're still trying to find out. But anyway, so this is our private app. In addition to that, we have our own private two-way radio system. We have tactical radios, scrambled, digital. We have HF radios, VHF radios, UHF radios, so we can talk around the world with our network. And even if an EMP happens, the power goes out, there is no atomic clocks, there's no satellites, and everybody else in the world is dead, the KLW World News, what do we call it? Solar set or something. I can ask Marple. He can tell me in the chat what I told him it was earlier. Or time set, whatever it was. KLW, whatever I told him it was. We named it earlier. But anyway, that system will allow all of our members to have synchronized clocks around the world forever. And I can show you, I'm going to teach that in the class on how you can do that. And it's only $30, or if you want to do something cheap, you can you can do it with a nail. Sunlock is what I called it. Sunlock. And what that does is it locks all of our transmitter sites together so as that it's when we do a call at a specific time.
Yeah, they're reporting one Secret Service agent took a gunshot to the vest and then returned fire, neutralizing. Although they do show video now of the suspect on the ground. He appears awake and conscious.
Okay, so a Secret Service agent took a shot to the vest. And
the word that I was getting from watching the YouTube stream, was that the shooter or the alleged shooter is in custody.
Okay, so maybe he ain't dead. AP was wrong. That's not uncommon.
Yeah, they definitely got the guy face down, handcuffed. Like a thermal blanket over him, but he's looking around, awake at the time.
It'll be interesting to see what comes out of this.
Yes, it will be. Yes, we're going to be live for the presser. We're staying in this. So
I know one thing for the individual to even get in it with some type of weapon. I know after they do the investigation, a whole lot of heads going to be rolling.
Oh, wrong network. For what it's worth, guys, I heard that the shooter was outside of the metal detector when he opened fire.
I heard that too, and they were describing some of the levels of the security that you had to share your ticket, etc., to get anywhere near it. So that seems to fit with that. I can't imagine that the shooter had a ticket.
All right, yeah, appreciate that. Thanks. All right, so that somebody else is also saying that they heard that the shooter was outside of the metal detector where you had to show your ticket. So that is good intel there. So it took place in the hallway outside of the room. Trump is going to be doing a live broadcast from the White House. They said that was going to be coming up in 30 minutes. That's probably about 25 minutes from now. We're going to continue to cover this. If you were not here earlier, this is what happened at the White House Correspondents' Dinner at the Hilton Hotel in Washington, D.C., just probably a little over an hour ago. So that was about an hour ago. All right, so yeah, thank you, IG. Appreciate it. Got a picture of the shooter on the ground here under a thermal blanket. Let me bring this up here for you. So we just got this picture. Thank you very much. This is the shooter on the ground after being shot here at the Hilton in Washington, D.C. at the White House Correspondents' Dinner. So I'm still looking for the video of the individual in cuffs. All I saw is the individual laying on the ground in cuffs. So still looking for that for you guys. Here's the Correspondents' Dinner. That's the only picture I've got of him thus far. So appreciate that, IG. Here's another. That's not as good. All right, well, he was still alive moments after. The dude's kind of weird looking. I don't know. Yeah, there's one more of him there. Yeah, this is going to be interesting to see what we're going to find here on this guy. We're still waiting on the live feed coming from the White House. No, I think they pulled his shirt off of him when they searched him. No, he's still moving in one of the videos I have. Yeah, CNN said he was unalived. And again, this video that we got here may be prior to him expiring while they were waiting on EMS to arrive. Because when you get shot multiple times, you can bleed out internally pretty quickly. So if you haven't joined the network, now's the time. Go to the link at the top of the chat. sign up, klwworldnews.com. You will be notified immediately anytime we're going live or there's breaking news like this. Or if you just want to get notifications, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/KLW News and sign up there. Also, if you're just joining us, be sure to be in the class tomorrow afternoon at 3 Central. I repeat, if you are a KLW World News member, be in the class tomorrow afternoon. And yes, we will do it private on YouTube for KLW World News members, as well as we will be doing it privately on our private video conferencing server. And we will explain how we are going to synchronize all of the KLW World News transmitters worldwide for forever tomorrow. I figured out how to do it, and people always are worried about how are you going to keep time after it all hits the fan. Well, I can do that, and I can have every person on the network perfectly synchronized. And so that's what we're going to be talking about. One of the things that we're going to be talking about tomorrow afternoon, as well as we have another field day coming up. And we're going to have a day that we synchronize everything at one time. Yes, water is part of the class. Exactly, this is why we need a White House ballroom. All right, I'm getting conflicting information because the person that Scripps says is the person who was shot is in a totally different place than what I'm seeing here. Are there doors there? Yeah, that's the same spot, but it's interesting. You'd have thought if there were shots fired and the guy got hit, you'd have blood all over the place, but I'm not seeing any blood anywhere. In any of these pictures, I haven't seen a drop of blood. So again, this is the shooter, reportedly. This is the person that they have down right now. Yeah, you just need to be a VIP. You can be a regular member. Just sign up. Go to klwworldnews.com and get signed up and be a VIP. Because we've got the only radio network that works worldwide and the only radio network that works after an EMP, a CME. It doesn't matter. We're the only ones with it. So yeah, just sign up as VIP. Welcome to the network. So we got U.S. Capitol Police.
I would sure like guy that did the shooting is still alive or not.
Yeah, that's a good question because all the pictures I've seen, I haven't seen a drop of blood anywhere. And I've got a picture of him with his shirt off. I don't even see any bullet holes.
Well, they'll say they will say something in a minute on the top of the news.
Let's see if we can get that. I want the White House here. All right, so let's see. That's over there. Let me put this. Well, actually, I can do this here instead of that because I actually have that here. And I can go there. And if I do that, they are actually setting up for a briefing at the White House right now. So we're going to bring that to you the moment that it comes out. Trump's going to make an announcement there. So I'm getting that set up for you right now. So as soon as Trump makes that announcement, you guys are going to see it. Yeah, CBS News now says that he is in custody and alive. AP reported earlier that he was no longer with us. We do know that a Secret Service agent was shot in the vest. So they are evacuating out the ballroom there. And I am looking for you guys. If you didn't see it or hear it from earlier, I can bring it back for you. This is how it all went down. All right, so that was the incident here. Let's see what we got here from DWA.
We can see the security forces rushing to take Donald Trump away, rush him off stage, and we can see a number of armed police and Secret Service take to the stage and aim their weapons in the direction of this security incident believed to be.
And this, again, is an image of the suspected shooter right here. It looks like they probably stripped him naked to make sure he didn't have a bomb or anything else on him. Is most likely what they did. Because I would have, I mean, if you're trying to attack the president, I would surely want to make sure that you didn't have anything else on you. But there he is on the ground under a solar blanket. He is in custody. Trump is supposed to be speaking at the White House here shortly. And I'm trying to get you guys a feed from the White House. I've got one, but I want to get as many as I can in case I got a problem with one of them. Okay, well, the person wounded might have been the Secret Service who took a gunshot wound to the chest. All right, so where did you see the two shooters? Where's the video or pictures of that? So yeah, where did you hear the that there were two shooters? Cole Thomas Allen. I don't know who that is. Yeah, it looks, I'm not sure what's going on. That might be a bag behind his head right there, a bag on the floor. I'm saying that this is his head here, and that's a bag sitting on the floor behind him. So, yeah, who's your source there, Tim? Again, we are waiting on Trump to speak at the White House. That should be coming up here any time. I didn't see what the note said. No, I don't see that. It just looks like his regular head to me. That looks like his regular head right there. To me, it doesn't look like he's scalped or toupee or anything. That's just his head, and this is a bag in the background. It's slightly out of focus. See the top of this guy's head, the top of his head. I don't see anything wrong with it. Yeah, I didn't see the note. So you can rewind and see it there. No, he didn't come in like that, most likely. Most likely he was stripped after he was apprehended. So, yeah, I don't think he came in that way. I'm looking for a waiter with a note here. I'm not seeing a note that a waiter is showing to anybody. Yeah, I'm up to current. I'm not seeing it. So Trump will be speaking shortly. Yeah, I didn't see it. I went back through. I didn't see it. Did not see it at all. So thanks for joining us, folks.
Okay, so is the shooter confirmed dead?
I don't believe anything Laura Loomer says. She's a lying bitch. Yeah, Laura Loomer's so full of shit. I don't trust anything she says. You might as well have said Scott Ritter said it. I call her Looney Loomer. That bitch is nuts. Nobody has confirmed him dead yet. AP said he was dead earlier. Other people were saying he's not. We don't know. We're getting the news as it comes in. Well, evidently some people didn't like my comment about Laura Loomer because we went from 512 to 493. Good. People that listen to Laura Loomer don't need to be here. She's way more than isn't always correct. No, she's not. I've found a dozen times that Laura Loomer talked about shit she had absolutely no idea what she was talking about. Stand by, bat phone. No, the dinner is not continuing on. Where do you come up? There's talk about the dinner continuing. It's already been announced that it's canceled and that it'll be rescheduled in 30 days. Where do you come up with that bullshit? And by the way, if you don't like my colorful language, how the hell do you ever survive in life without some colorful language? Really? I mean, if a little bit of colorful language bothers you that much, you're a pussy motherfucker, in my opinion. Refresh if you get a black screen. Yes, they're cleaning the tables and people say they're continuing the dinner. Where do you get that? Where do you get that? They're continuing the dinner while the tables are being stripped. Thank you, Deborah. You know, we're here to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And if some colorful language or colorful metaphors are brought in from time to time, then guess what? Oh, well. Stand by a bat phone. All right, we're back. Everybody wants briefings. You wouldn't believe. Right. Get over it, people. Get over it. If somebody can't handle an F-bomb being dropped every once in a while, you're a pitiful human being. You really are. If you can't handle an F-bomb, there's something wrong with you. There really is. There really is. But that's just the way it is. That's insane that people's skin is that thin. You are not prepared for what Islam is going to do to this country, if that's the case. Exactly. It's free speech. And it's my channel. So I'm not worried. Yeah, but you're not going to hear anything on Metro PD fire comms. Yeah, we're not going to hear the fire comms. I mean, we'll hear the dispatch of it, but you're not going to hear any juicy stuff. All that shit's encrypted in DC. And this is being handled by the FBI. Oh, yeah, I'm way more mellow than I used to be. I used to call you everything but a white man. I'm trying to be a little more reserved in my senior years. I don't know who the girl in the green is. I want to know who that is. That's who I want to know it is. Yeah, roger that. They're not going to survive in the military either. No, Trump has not speaked. Yeah, your middle name is Hell Yeah. Mine is Lee fucking A. Wilbarger. Cole Thomas Allen, Fox News, is reporting what? No, they didn't try ramming his motorcade. They opened fire right outside the event. Glad to hear, Don. Appreciate it, Mother. No, I don't think it's a ponytail on the shooter. I think it's a bag behind his head. Thank you, Jim, for the donation. Greatly appreciate it, buddy. Welcome aboard. Oh, Fox is reporting that the guy's name is Cole Thomas Allen. Okay, well, let's see what I got here. All right, yep. Let's see here. What I got, Mother. Here he is. The shooter at the White House Correspondents' dinner has been identified as 31-year-old Cole Allen from Torrance, California. He works as a teacher and was recently given an award of Teacher of the Month in Los Angeles County. We have a picture of said shooter. We will show that to you now. There he is. Again, reporting that the shooter is Cole Thomas Allen. Interesting. Thank you, Mother. Let's see what else we got in here. Excuse me, Cole Allen. Let's see here. All right, yeah, that's video of him still moving there. Let me bring that up here so you guys can see it. So as you can see, he's still moving. He's not zeroed yet. There he is. We're going to keep bringing it to you. We're waiting on the briefing from the White House, which is supposed to be coming up here shortly. Wow, per NBC4, suspect had more than one weapon. Yeah, roger that, Kathleen. Yeah, I can't tell you if it's the guy on the floor because the image on the floor is so grainy, you can't make any kind of ID out of that. Not aware of the National Guard being deployed. Thank you, Mother. That picture says 2024. Yeah, I can't tell you that. I don't know. Yeah, December 24. That's when he was Teacher of the Month. So I'm sure he got diversity training. He's in California. All right, so there he is, and here he is. What was it? Cole Thomas Allen, I believe is what they said his name is. Yeah, so Aquest says now he's Teacher of the Year. Don't doubt that. Still waiting on the briefing coming in from
Lady Melania Trump,
the White House here. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, we still don't have Trump up there, but he is they're setting up for a briefing in the White House right now, and we're going to bring that to you. Well, most likely if they were after the president would be the most likely of who they were after. So again, the shooter is on your screen right here. There he be. Still waiting on the conference coming in from the White House. And as soon as they go live, we're going to go straight to it. Again, as soon as the president goes live at the White House, we're going to go straight to that live feed. And we'll bring it here to you. See if we can get any more here. Okay, so we got it there. All right, let's. All right, again, we're waiting for President Trump to come and speak here. So thanks for joining us. Hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. Yeah, if you're just joining us, we are awaiting Trump to speak. I've been speaking so much, I need to get a drink myself. I'll be back. Leave it up. We're waiting on Trump. And if you haven't seen him, that's the shooter. It's also being reported that the shooter has been apprehended. Hit that thumbs up, folks. Share us out. If you haven't joined the network yet, tonight's a prime example of why you should. Go to klwworldnews.com, get signed up, VIP or above. So thanks for being here. I'm going to get a drink. I'll be right back. We are awaiting the arrival of Trump to speak.
covered. Let's
I'll get it. I'll get it. Is everybody okay? Yeah, you okay? Yes. Sorry for the hopping over the fence here. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. That was very unexpected, but incredibly acted upon by Secret Service and law enforcement. And this was an event dedicated to freedom of speech that was supposed to bring together members of both parties with members of the press. And in a certain way it did, because the fact that they just unified. I saw a room that was just totally unified. It was in one way a very beautiful thing to see. A man charged a security checkpoint armed with multiple weapons, and he was taken down by some very brave members of Secret Service, and they acted very quickly and have just released, for purposes of transparency, clarity. I've ordered it to be put out. You probably have it by now. Put out on Truth and put out on many of the platforms. A tape showing the violence of this thug that attacked our Constitution, and also showing how quickly Secret Service and law enforcement acted on our country's behalf. Really did a great job. One officer was shot, but saved by the fact that he was wearing obviously a very good bulletproof vest. He was shot from very close distance with a very powerful gun, and the vest did the job. I just spoke to the officer, and he's doing great. He's in great shape. He is has very high spirits, and we told him we love him and respect him, and he's a very proud guy. He's very proud of what he does, Secret Service agent. And we looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, you know, it's not a particularly secure building, and I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different, because today we need levels of security that probably nobody's ever seen before. But everyone owes a tremendous debt of gratitude to the courage of law enforcement, the law enforcement, and working with the D.C. police, and we just spoke with the mayor. And when we're finished, the police chief is going to take over and discuss it also from their viewpoint. But they also performed exactly as they were supposed to, and you see the attacker in different positions, but you also see the attacker totally subdued and under control. So as you know, this is not the first time in the past couple of years that our republic has been attacked by a would-be assassin who sought to kill. In Butler, Pennsylvania, less than 2 years ago, you all know that story. And in Palm Beach, Florida, a few months after that, we came close. We really had, again, we had some great work done by law enforcement. But in light of this evening's events, I asked that all Americans recommit with their hearts in resolving our difference peacefully. We have to resolve our differences. I will say, you had Republicans, Democrats, independents, conservatives, liberals, and progressives. Those words are interchangeable, perhaps, but maybe they're not. But yet everybody in that room, big crowd, record-setting crowd. There was a record-setting group of people, and there was a tremendous amount of love and coming together. I watched, and I was very, very impressed by that. But we were, First Lady and I were taken very well care of, very quickly rushed off the stage. Vice President J.D. Vance, who's here, was likewise beautifully done. He was just saying how quickly everybody acted, law enforcement, Secret Service in particular in this case, but law enforcement. Marco had the same thing. Pete was there. Pete didn't want any help. He didn't want anybody to help him. He doesn't want anybody to help him, but he did get some, didn't you? And I think you also said that it was very impressive. So with that, I'd like to ask Todd Blanche to come up, say a few words, and tell you it's already underway. The man has been captured. They're going to his apartment. I guess he lives in California, and he's a sick person, a very sick person, and we don't want things like this to happen. I think it's very important that I say, though, and I told the representatives of the evening, they did such a beautiful job. It was such a beautiful evening. And again, they're talking about free speech in our Constitution. That's what it's all about, not just White House correspondence. It was really based on free speech in our Constitution. But I said very importantly that we'll do it again within the next 30 days, and we'll make it bigger and better and even nicer. So I just want to thank everybody that was involved. I also want to thank the press, the media. You've been very responsible in your coverage. I will say I've been seeing what's been out, and you've been very responsible. So Todd Blanche, I'd like to say a few words. I know we're going to have cash, and then you're going to go on. We can ask, I guess we can take a couple of questions. I want to thank the First Lady that was a rather traumatic experience for her. There was a lot of action taking place up there very quickly. But again, the response time was really incredible. And we're going to reschedule. We're going to do it again. We're not going to let anybody take over our society. We're not going to cancel things out because we can't do that. We wanted to stay tonight. I will tell you, I fought like hell to stay. But it was protocol. They said, please, sir, because they didn't know there was a lot of action going on, and they didn't know could there be probably a lone shooter, but we'll find out. We'll find out very quickly. They have it very well under control. So I want to thank everybody very much. And Todd Blanche, please.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Tonight you saw the very worst and the very best of this country. You saw the very worst by the actions of that coward that the president just talked about. But you also saw the very best because you saw law enforcement do exactly what they're supposed to do. And you'll see the videos come out, I expect, very shortly, and you'll see law enforcement do exactly what we want them to do. And so I echo what what President Trump just said, that we are extraordinarily grateful and appreciative of the men and women of law enforcement that did their jobs tonight, including one who was injured. This investigation is ongoing. I expect you will see charges filed shortly. The charges should be self-evident given the conduct, but as you'll hear, there will be multiple charges surrounding the shooting, around the possession of firearms, and anything else that we can get on this guy. The investigation is obviously ongoing and just started. There is federal law enforcement already working on search warrants and doing their job, and I don't want to get ahead of them and don't want to get ahead of the work that they're doing even as we speak. Director Patel and I were just on the crime scene a short while ago, and everybody in this room should rest assured that the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI, Secret Service, everybody's on the scene doing their job. I know that the police chief is going to give an update from the scene as soon as we're finished here, and I obviously will lead the details of what they have learned to him. But in the meantime, I just want to thank everybody in this room for the courage. And I want to thank President Trump for his words, and I promise you, justice will be served. Thank you. Director Patel.
Thank you, General. Thank you, Mr. President. The President's absolutely right. You saw the best resolve of American law enforcement because you, Mr. President, inspire them 24/7, 365. You give them the resources that they need, and they know that you have their back. And that is a changing dynamic in this country, and that's why you saw brave Secret Service agents respond immediately, swiftly, subdue and take down the suspect, and safeguard the lives of thousands of individuals at that hotel. Thanks to our interagency partnership with the Department of Homeland Security and the Metropolitan Police Department, the FBI was rapidly deployed onto the scene, took over the evidence response unit, is examining all the ballistics that were found on scene, to include the long gun and the shell casings. We are conducting witness interviews as we speak. You will hear from our team on the scene there with the mayor and the head of the FBI field division there. But please know what the Attorney General has just said reigns no truer. You saw the very best of America tonight. The very best unite us at a time of uncertainty, because we have leadership here with the president, the vice president, that backs law enforcement, and the men and women that I shook their hands on the scene today could not have been prouder to show up on scene. And as the Attorney General said, make no mistake, we are conducting witness interviews. If you have any information whatsoever related to this event, 1-800-CALL-FBI, 1-800-CALL-FBI. No piece of information is too small. No piece of information is inadequate. We will evaluate it all. We will also be conducting interviews of those that were there. And if any of those individuals have information, please come forward to law enforcement or the FBI or the Metropolitan Police Department. We will be examining this individual's background thoroughly. That process has already started, and we are going to ensure that he was either a lone wolf actor or anyone else that was responsible. We will analyze all evidence immediately to make sure that we safeguard this country. Mr. President, Mr. Vice President, thank you for your leadership. Attorney General and Homeland Secretary Marlin, thank you for your partnership in law enforcement.
Thank you. Okay, we'll do a couple and then we go to the chief. Madam Chairman, I just want to say you did a fantastic job. What a beautiful evening, and we're going to reschedule. Okay? And after that, it's very tough for her to ask a killer question, right? But you have done a fantastic job. Please.
Mr. President, I appreciate it. As you mentioned, it all happened so quickly.
Yeah.
And I wonder, especially because unfortunately you have experience with these sorts of threats. In that moment, when you realized there was a threat and service agents were telling us to get down, can you describe what was going through your mind, how you were feeling in that moment?
That's a very good question, actually. It's always shocking when something like this happens. It's happened to me a little bit, and that never changes. The fact, we were sitting right next to each other, the First Lady on my right, and I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. You know, I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't reached the area at all. They really got him. But, so it was quite far away, but it was a gun. And some people really understood that pretty quickly. Other people didn't. I was watching to see what was happening. Probably should have gone down even faster. Melania was very cognizant, I think, of what happened. I think she knew immediately what happened. She was saying, that's a bad noise. And we were whisked away along with other people, but we were really whisked away. And again, the performance of the Secret Service and the police, all of the law enforcement, I thought was really good. So it was very quick. There wasn't a lot of time to be thinking, because it was a matter of seconds before we were out the door and gone into an area. We very much, and you wanted to too, we very much wanted to continue it, because I don't like to let these sick people, these thugs, these horrible, horrible people, change the fabric of our life, change the course of what we do. So we held out. You were there. We held out right till the end, but they didn't want to take a chance, and I understand there was protocol. But we're going to be doing one hopefully within the next 30 days or sooner, and I am ready, willing, and able, and I was all set to really rip it. And I said to my people, this would be the most inappropriate speech ever made if I said one. So I'll have to save it. I don't know if I could ever be as rough as I was going to be tonight. I think I'm going to be probably very nice. I'll be very boring the next time, but we're going to have a great event. And you did a fantastic job. Thank you very much. Peter, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. There's a report in the New York Post that this assailant assembled his weapon somewhere on site at the hotel. What do you think about that? And I ask respectfully, why do you think this keeps happening to you?
Well, you know, I've studied assassinations, and I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most, you take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln, I mean, you go through the people that have gone through this, where they got them, but the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after. They don't go after the ones that don't do much because they like it that way. And when you look at the people that have either, whether it was an attempt or a successful attempt, they're very impactful people. Just take a look at the names there, the big names. And I hate to say I'm honored by that, but I've done a lot. We've done a lot. We've taken this country, and we were a laughing stock for years, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. We've changed this country, and there are a lot of people that are not happy about that. So I think that's the answer, Peter.
And after Butler, your team for a while rethought outdoor events.
Yeah.
Do you think that you now need to rethink indoor?
Well, but then you just don't do events. No, I can't do that. I have to. It is what it is. We have to do it. The room was very, very secure. He charged from 50 yards away, so he was very far away from the room.
And what did you think when you saw the video of how fast he was running?
He was moving. He was really moving. And the reaction time was great. Boy, those guys, they had their guns drawn literally by the time he was there. They were shooting.
That's right.
I thought they were very impressive. And if I didn't, I'd let you know. I'm not going to be... I would not stand for that. No, I thought they were very impressive.
Thank you, President Trump, and thank you for updating us on the suspect earlier. Were you aware of any threats? Was your team aware of any threats beforehand? And do you believe you were the target of this tonight?
I guess. I mean, these people they're crazy. They're crazy, and you never know. He was very far away from me. He had to go through a lot. We had resources all over. We had resources sitting at tables, literally in disguise, sitting. Maybe at your table, who knows? But we had people all over the room, so he had a long way to go. That was really a first line of defense, and they got him. And they really, they acted incredibly. No, there was no notification. We had no idea. Go ahead, Kevin.
Do you know any political motivations from this?
Well, you never know. Now, we'll be able to tell you that maybe by tomorrow or the next day. He's in custody, and they're asking him a lot of questions. I guess they're going over Todd, and they're already at his apartment. He lives in California. Yes, sir. And they're over there, so they'll be able to tell you. Thank you, Caitlin.
President Trump, did the suspect say anything, or was he wearing anything that would allege some type of motive here?
Nothing. No. I mean, he was a guy who looked pretty evil when he was down. They had him down. He was fighting hard. He was in my opinion, a sick person. Who would do that but a sick person? But I think you're going to find everything about him. No reason to talk about it now. But tomorrow at this time, long before this time, you're going to know a lot of things about him. They seem to think he was a lone wolf, and I feel that too.
Are you concerned about U.S. Secret Service protection ability? We saw several of the detainees take minutes to be escorted out of the room.
No, they acted very quickly. No, I was very impressed by Secret Service. I mean, I'm the one, and Mark Wayne, you would agree with that, I think. Absolutely. I'm the one that would complain. You don't have to complain for me. I would be complaining. I'd be up here right now saying they didn't do their job. Oh, believe me, because, it's my life, and I want to live because I want to make this country great. That's why I want to live. But when you're impactful, they go after you. When you're not impactful, they leave you alone. Okay, a couple of more. Go ahead, please.
Is there any indication that this shooting could have been linked to in Iran?
I don't think so, but you never know. We're going to know a lot. We have the best people in the world working on it, and we're going to know a lot. Please.
Mr. President, there's a lot. There's you, as well as some of us who have covered Butler, experienced another horrific day 2 years ago.
Yeah.
What felt similar? You had the First Lady with you today. What felt different? And you have another 2+ years in office. Are you concerned about something like this happening
Well, I
again?
can't be concerned. I can only get great people. They did the job, in my opinion, a much better job than Butler. Butler had one weak spot that we all know about. Somebody should have been up there. But even Butler, we had our sniper on our side within 4.2 seconds from a distance of about 400 yards, one shot, and he was gone. And if he didn't do it, now, he's David. His name was David. I say, hello, David, every time I see him. David, I like you very much, David. But think of that. Now, if he doesn't hit him, and he hit him right between the eyes from 400 yards without any notice, Nobody knew. He heard a sound. He looked over, and there was actually a tree that was somewhat in his way. You know the story very well. And he aimed, he fired, and if he didn't do that, beyond me, you would have had a lot more people killed. We lost one great person and 2 people very badly hurt. They're okay now. But no, that was so. In a sense, you know, it was pretty amazing the job they did. But they did have that one weak spot, as you know. They should have had that covered. Tonight they had everything covered very quickly, and he was fast. He was running full blast, and they got him before they got any further. I was very far away. You know, he hadn't anywhere close to breach the doors of the ballroom. The ballroom was sealed, and everybody in there. That's why once those doors opened, they didn't want to do tonight. If the doors weren't opened, we could have probably done it tonight, but I think we're much better off rescheduling. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, for you and perhaps law enforcement as well, what is the level of confidence that this was a lone actor, and has the suspect made any statements to police while in custody?
Yeah, I think it's just look, it's not my profession. We have great professionals up here and outside that have been working with us. My impression is he was a lone wolf, whack job. These are crazy people. These are crazy people, and they have to be dealt with. We had that in the second attempt, as you know, and he's spending life in prison because if you let him out, they'll probably, you know, if he serves 10 years or 15 years, you let him out, he'll probably try it again with somebody else. They're sick people. We have a lot of sick people, but you're going to know. I think very shortly you're going to know, Todd, a lot about him. You're going to know a lot about him. Yeah, a couple of more. Yeah, please, go ahead.
Are you concerned about political violence? This could be politically motivated.
All violence. I'm concerned about everything. Look, but I can't be so concerned that you can't function. No, I'm here. It's a dangerous profession. You know, I tell the story, race car drivers, I think it's very dangerous. So if you take 1% and then take about 10% of 1%, just to break it down very easily, they die. So much less than 1%, 10% of 1%. I think bull riding is very dangerous. If you take about the same 10% of 1%, much less than 1%, but if you take presidents, it's 5.8%. And about 8% are shot at. So nobody told me this was such a dangerous profession. If Marco would have told me, maybe I wouldn't have run. Maybe I would have said, I'll take a pass. No, it's a dangerous profession, but I don't view it that way. Look, I'm here to do a job. It's part of the job. It is a dangerous, I can't imagine that there's any profession that's more dangerous. But I love the country, and I'm very proud. I'm very proud of the job we've done. You see what's happening. We have a great country. We've got, I think, the most successful, the hottest country anywhere in the world. This happened over a period of just a year, and we're going to do great things. But with that come risks. There's no question about it. Yeah.
To that end, I mean, there's been so much political violence, not just aimed at yourself, but at other members of Congress, state house speakers, you name it. Is that just the cost of doing business to do politics in America anymore?
Yeah, well,
what does that say about our country?
Too. You know, we're not the only country. You look at this great violence with all countries. I was talking to somebody from another country today, and they have numerous assassinations of political figures all over the world. You look at South America, it's like some of the numbers are just horrific. It's dangerous. It's dangerous stuff, whether it's here or someplace else. No country is immune. No country. Good question.
Will we turn that temperature down at this point?
Well, probably if I decided to just not do much. You know, if I let everybody rip us off and take advantage of us. Look, we're leading the world in trade now. We're leading the world in the military. We're the greatest military in the world. I rebuilt it in my first term, and now we use it because we have no choice. We can't let, as an example, Iran, we can't let them get a nuclear weapon. Everything will be peanuts compared to that if they ever were given a nuclear weapon, and they'd use it too. Marco and I were talking about it today. They would use it without even hesitation. We can't do that. It was a shame. I said, oh boy, look at the numbers. We just broke 50,000 in the Dow. We just broke 7,000 in the S&P. They said we couldn't do it in 7 years, in 5 years, 4 years. They were saying maybe in 5 or 6 years. And we did it in 1 year. And I called everybody together. I called all of these people and others, and I said, we have to take a little journey. I say to do this. We just had the great number. We just broke 50,000. Wasn't supposed to happen during my term. Wasn't reachable. Did it in 1 year. And I said, we're going to have to make a journey to Iran. They're going to have a nuclear weapon if we don't do it. We had the B-2 bombers take them out. I terminated in the first term the Obama agreement, the Iran nuclear agreement, which was a disaster. That was a road to a nuclear weapon. They would have used it. They would have used it 100%. So, you know, when you do things like that, you become a target. If I wasn't doing that, I guess I'd be a lot less of a target. But I'm honored to be. Okay, one more question. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, President Trump. Thank you, President Trump. Do you know how the gun was brought into the hotel? And also, how does this event impact you as the leader of our country? Do you think it will change your
I
leadership?
like not to think about it. I lead a pretty normal life, considering, you know, it's a dangerous life. I think I handle it as well as it can be handled. I think a lot of other people, you know, you read stories where they become basket cases. To be honest with you, I'm not a basket case. I really take it as it is. I do it for the country. I'm not doing it for any other reason. I have a first lady who's doing a terrific job. She loves the country, and she recognizes it better than anybody. She's told me numerous times. She said, you are in a dangerous job. But that goes along with her, too. I mean, it's dangerous for her, too. We sat there tonight. We heard that noise, and it was either a tray or a bullet. I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't. And again, we had some very brave people doing a great job, so we're very proud of them and happy with them. I just want to thank everybody. They will be able to give you all that information as to the names and everything else. I think we released the names already. Most of you would have it, but his name. We appreciate it. I see so many tuxedos and beautiful dresses. It was a little different evening than we thought, but we're going to do it again, and we have a great chairman who we're so proud of, and we have to make it better. We'll make it safer, I guess, right? But we're going to make it even better. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
About how impactful this was. Can we hear from her about?
Well, honey, would you want to say something?
Okay.
One in the back, sir.
Right.
Millions of people across the globe, in fact, are watching you. You demonstrated courageous leadership, and thank God you're alive. All of us are alive today. What is the message that you want to give to the world that this should change? What corrective measures can we take from here on? So.
Well, all you can do, look, I don't care how many people you have, how good they are. They can be the greatest people. You have the greatest security in history. If you have a whack job who's got a brain, but it's a little bit distorted or a lot distorted, they can make trouble. I would say, Pete, right? You know, they can make trouble. Some of these people are of genius level IQ, and they're nuts. So it can be trouble. So you do absolutely the best. You get the best. We have the best people. Well, look, it was proven tonight. He started running from 50 yards, and he was fast. He was like a blur on tape. He was moving. It was very impressive the way they got him. Because a lot of people would be looking and saying, you know, it's like a weird feeling. And they would let him get through, but they didn't let him get through. They drew those guns so fast. They looked like Matt Dillon. They looked like somebody that knew what they were doing. What do we do? But it comes with the territory. And if you want to do a great job, I really believe that. And you take a look at what's happened to some of our greatest presidents, and it doesn't happen to people that don't do anything. And it's not going to deter me from winning the war in Iran. I don't know if that had anything to do with it. I really don't think so, based on what we know. But we're going to continue to do a great job. That's all I can do. Thank you very much. We'll see you tomorrow. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Glad you're okay.
And there he is. There's your shooter, folks. Now, what I've done for you is I have gotten the video that Trump released and I've slowed it down to a quarter speed. So we're going to play it here. The shooter comes in from here and runs up the hallway and shoots this Secret Service agent in the vest. And it hits him hard, almost knocks him down, and then he kneels and takes a shot at him while he's going down the hallway. So we're going to start playing it here. You're going to see the shooter come running in here. So there he comes. As he's running up the hallway, he started opening fire. Right there is where he shot the Secret Service agent in the abdomen. The Secret Service agent grabs his sidearm, pulls it from his holster, and turns off the safety. At the exact same moment, he's still recovering from the trauma, goes down to a prone position, and fires on the suspect. So that is the video that Trump has released. Now, there is supposed to be a live press conference on the terrace at the Hilton in Washington, D.C. And so I am in the process of trying to get a live feed from that press conference. And as soon as I get that, I will be bringing that to you guys, because we are waiting for Mayor Bowser to speak. They're setting up for that conference right now, and we're going to bring that to you live as soon as it happens. Here's a live shot of the White House. So yeah, he come blazing up the hallway there. Yeah, you can bet your life they're going to play this in training. Yep. And a Secret Service vest. The Secret Service and the President of the United States, they don't wear a regular vest. A lot of people get body armor, plates, all this other stuff. They use a special material called Spectra Fiber Gold. Spectra Fiber Gold is a very thin material that is somewhat pliable. And what they do is they take an imprint of their chest area, their back, and so on and so forth, and the bulletproof vest is molded to them. And it will, you can wiggle in it a little bit. It's a little pliable. And it's a mesh. It's like spider webs, just layer and layer and layer and layer and layer of spider webs. How do I know? I used to have one of these vests back in the day. So that's what they're wearing. And that is why that officer is alive right now, is because he was wearing a Spectra Fiber vest made with Spectra Fiber Gold. They're actually produced out off of Old Ox Road, or at least that's where they used to be. I can't say that they're still there now. Hell, it's been 30 years since I got mine. Can I show the picture again of the guy or of the shooting? Yeah, well, back in December of, well, 22, I don't know. Here we go.
Good evening. I'm Muriel Bowser. I'm the mayor of Washington, D.C. I am joined by members of my public safety team and federal law enforcement, including the United States Attorney for the District of Columbia, Janine Pirro, the Secret Service Director, Sean Curran, as well as FBI Field Office, Darren Cox. We're here to provide you an update on the incident that took place tonight at 8:36 p.m. at the Washington Hilton at the site of the White House Correspondents' dinner. At about that time, a sole gunman rushed a Secret Service checkpoint in a lobby at the hotel. Secret Service agents stopped the suspect. An agent was injured and transported to a local hospital where the agent is receiving care. The suspect is also transported to a local hospital where he is being evaluated. The president returned safely to the White House, as you know. We are so very thankful to members of law enforcement who did their jobs tonight and made sure that all guests were safe. We have no reason to believe at this time that anyone else was involved. I want to turn to the Chief of the Metropolitan Police Department, Chief Carroll, to provide a law enforcement update and specifics.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Again, I'm Jeff Carroll, Interim Chief of Police for the Metropolitan Police Department. This afternoon and this evening, members of the United States Secret Service and the Metropolitan Police Department were here at the Washington Hotel for a site detail for the Correspondents' dinner. As the mayor mentioned, at approximately 8:36 tonight, an individual charged a U.S. Secret Service checkpoint here in the lobby area of the hotel. He was armed with a shotgun, a handgun, and multiple knives. As he ran through that checkpoint, members of law enforcement from the United States Secret Service intercepted that individual. This is a very preliminary investigation at this point. We do know that law enforcement exchanged gunfire with the individual. We do know that a U.S. Secret Service uniformed division officer was struck in his vest. He was transported to a local hospital for treatment. He seems to be in good spirits at this time. The suspect in this case, he was not struck by gunfire. However, he was transported to a local hospital to be evaluated. Again, we're very early in the investigation. We have members of the United States Secret Service, the Metropolitan Police Department, and the FBI here to continue to investigate this matter. But at this point, it does appear he is a lone actor, a lone gunman. There does not appear to be any sort of danger to the public at this time. However, we are continuing to investigate this matter. At this point, I will turn it over to, I believe, the FBI.
Hi, good evening. I'm Darren Cox. I'm the Assistant Director in charge of the FBI's Washington Field Office. The American public should be proud of the quick response and heroic actions from law enforcement officers tonight to keep the American public safe. Their actions are absolutely heroic. The public should also rest assured that there will be no stone unturned during this investigation. The FBI currently has our Joint Terrorism Task Force here on scene, along with our Criminal Division, our Crisis Response Team, and agents from across the country are working on any leads that may come in this investigation. Anyone with tips in this investigation should call 1-800-CALL-FBI. Thank you.
Director Curran.
My name is Sean Curran, the Director of the Secret Service. Tonight, we saw exactly what our brave men and women do each and every day to protect our protectees. It's not easy, and I will tell you that they performed admirably. We got to see what they do, and that individual, when he charged a checkpoint, was apprehended. It shows that our multi-layered protection works, and I'm grateful to our partners that help assist us with building these sites and protecting these sites. Very fortunate that this officer is alive, is being observed. And I'm grateful that the President reached out to this officer and spoke with him earlier. I ask everybody to pray for him and all of our officers and agents that were involved. And I will tell you, we will continue with the mission. Thank you.
Judge Pirro.
I'm Janine Pirro. I'm the United States Attorney. Right now, the defendant is being charged with 2 counts, 924C, using a firearm during a crime of violence, and a second crime under 111, which is assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon. Now, as you all know, there was an individual, a uniformed Secret Service officer, who was shot. Unfortunately, he is doing all right and he will be fine. But it is clear, based upon what we know so far, that this individual was intent on doing as much harm and as much damage as he could. And thankfully, because of the checkpoint right outside the ballroom, where thousands of people were situated to hear the President of the United States, because that checkpoint worked, there was no one who was injured when it was clear where this defendant was going. Now, I want to make one comment. As a participant, someone who was in the ballroom, who came this evening to be part of a very lovely event at the White House Correspondents' Dinner, I, for the first time, was in a situation where there were shots fired, shots heard, and a whole room went silent. When I lifted my head and when I looked up, every law enforcement officer was out there as we all had our heads down, thousands of them. These are the men and women every day who do what they do silently, and they do it with courage and with dignity. Thank God for our partners, the FBI, the Secret Service, the Metropolitan Police. All of them tonight acted so quickly that they prevented what could have been a horrific event where we were all sitting there in one room. The defendant will be arraigned on Monday in federal district court. But make no mistake, there will be many more charges based upon the information that we are learning in this very fluid situation. Thank you.
We'll take a few questions. Right here in the front, right here in the front.
Can you confirm that this suspect is specifically targeting the president, and is he talking to law enforcement now?
Sure. So at this point, what we know is we know the individual charged the checkpoint with a firearm in his hand. We know he was running in the direction of the ballroom that the president was in, as well as other cabinet members. So what his specific motivation was, we can't say at this point. However, as we continue to investigate that, we'll continue to work towards that.
Chief, when you say there seems to have been a lack of authorization to come to this event. Was this a failure on the Secret Service?
What we have here is a multi-layered approach. The director spoke about it. We have officers on the outside from the Metropolitan Police Department, along with the escort. The inside portion of any presidential site is handled by the Secret Service and law enforcement partners. This is a multi-layered approach. The point of this checkpoint is to intercept individuals that were there, and what we see in this case is when he reached that checkpoint,
You or the FBI conducted any search warrants either on a vehicle or locations here or elsewhere around the country?
Sure, Mark. So as you can imagine, this is very early in the investigation. So, things we're digging into is his background, vehicles. Those are all things that the FBI, the Metropolitan Police Department, and the Secret Service are working together jointly to determine, is there anything else that's available? So I would imagine as we continue to go through this investigation, there will be additional search warrants and things of that nature as the investigation progresses.
Is the suspect known to law enforcement?
At this point, he was not known to the Metropolitan Police Department, I can tell you that.
Right here. There are multiple other parties and events happening associated with this weekend tonight. Is there any reason to believe that there will be security concerns at those events? Are there preparations being made locally to protect those attendees?
Yeah, absolutely not. So we have no indication. This is an isolated incident with one individual is the information that we do have. However, we do have additional officers across the city that are giving special attention. We do know there were some after parties and events that are planned that we will be providing coverage for those events.
Yep. The president said that this is not a particularly secure building. Do you agree with that assessment?
I'm not exactly 100% familiar with this building. I do know in this incident tonight, I know there was a security plan that was developed by the Secret Service that the Metropolitan Police Department assisted with, and I know that security plan did work this evening.
Right here.
Thank you so much. Do you know specifically if President Trump was a target of this attack? And can you speak to their reporting about the suspect assembling a long weapon to get into the ballroom? Can you speak to
suspect at all?
Yes, as we said before, we do know the president was inside the ballroom. We know there was cabinet members and many guests in there. Who specifically he was targeting at this point, that's part of the investigation. We do know that he was armed with a shotgun when he ran through that checkpoint, so that would look like a long weapon in video.
All right, right here.
Clarify, earlier you said there was an exchange of gunfire. Did the suspect fire any shots? And did the uniformed officer, do you know yet which weapon he was shot?
Yeah, obviously we're only a couple hours into this instance, so we don't have that level of information. The FBI's evidence response team is here. They're processing the scene. So as the investigation develops, all that information will be figured out with the ballistics. The ATF is also on scene here with us.
So the suspect did or did not fire a shot?
Sure. So again, it's very preliminary information. We do believe he did. However, as the investigation determines, we'll pull the shell casings. We'll be able to get more information as we review more evidence. We're very early in the investigation.
All right, we can take a couple more right here, and one more over here.
Thank you so much. So the president said that he wants there to be another event within 30 days. Given what happened tonight, do you have any sense of what additional security measures might be put in place to ensure that something similar does not happen again?
Sure. I'll toss it to the Secret Service.
Yep, this is what we plan for every day. So we take each and every case and we evaluate it, and we do site assessments. And that's why we go out and build these sites per what the event is, and that's how we go about our business.
So will there be any changes or added measures given that this did happen?
We're going to have to evaluate this evening.
Thank you.
Chief, I understand. Is there any indication how the suspect got into the hotel? Was it a guest here? Are you searching rooms here?
So preliminary information, we do believe he was a guest here at the hotel. We have secured a room here in the hotel. And again, we'll go through the appropriate procedures to determine what was inside there. But that is secure. At this point, like I said, we believe he is the only suspect in this case.
Okay.
To jump on that question, I understand the multi-approach to security, but to walk in with a weapon of that caliber and get all the way to the ballroom, which is on the lower level, seems to be quite an extraordinary feat. How does that happen?
Sure. So again, I mean, we're very early in the investigation, so we'll have to determine, we'll go through video across the hotel to figure out how the gun got in, how it got down here. Those things will come through the investigation. At this point, we don't have that level of detail.
Okay, last one.
Yes, video appears to show the president falling down when he was being escorted out. Was he injured at all during his evacuation?
No, we don't have any information that he was injured.
Could you clarify how he was detained? If he was not shot, could you clarify how he was detained?
Sure. So law enforcement right here in this very area, they actually tackled him to the ground and handcuffed him.
And how many people were in the hospital? Can you give us his name?
Not at this time. We will release his name, Mark, once we have all the information. Again, we're still running a lot of things down.
How many people in the hospital?
In the hospital, so we have the Uniform Division Secret Service officer who's being evaluated at the hospital who took a round to the vest, and the suspect is being evaluated, but he was not struck by gunfire.
U.S. Attorney Bureau, are you looking at any terrorism charges?
Well, as the chief just indicated, we're very early in this investigation, but make no mistake, if there is anything like that, we will find it and we will file it.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, folks, we have a very dangerous storm that is heading into Fort Worth. It's actually headed straight towards the studio right now. So it looks like we're going to be doing some more testing. If you want to see what it actually looks like outside, we can show you that. Here's a live shot from outside of the studio as this storm is moving towards the studio. I'm going to get with Racer here, and we're going to do a live shot. We're going to test some of our new... This camera is not nearly the quality of the one that you're about to see here. We're going to do a little storm chasing here as the actual... Last night, we went after the storm. Tonight, the storm is coming to us. So we're going to end this broadcast. I'm going to get Racer on the horn. We're going to fire up the Intimidator, and we're going to intercept this thing. We're going to stay outside of the bear cage, and we're going to get the opportunity to test all of the new cameras on the Intimidator. So we will be coming back live, storm chasing from the Intimidator. You're going to have to give us about 15, 20 minutes to get it all set up, but we'll be back. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night. We'll see you on the next one.